Your lesson, All Girls Professional League, talks about how female athletes prove to be as strong and skillful as male athletes. Now, this didn't happen in a blink of an eye. It took them several years of hard work and persistence to achieve such a goal. At that time, society's opinion fluctuated, that is, it varied. For some were against women playing any kind of game, and some of them encouraged women to go with it. Your second unit is space exploration. As you have learned from the first lesson, Astronomers Discover Solar System, the scientist Geoffrey Mercy has come up with a fully designed system to study the planets around Upsilon Andromeda, which is a constellation. So these are the vocabulary words for your lesson. As you can see, we have the synonym, which is the meaning of the word. We also have the antonym, which is the opposite of the word. As your lesson mentioned that female athletes were considered to be amateur, that is, they are beginners, not good at anything, or mostly they're not good at sports. So they were not allowed to participate in any kind of competition. Compete is the verb of competition. In spite of that, they participated and played against professional leagues, and they were able to achieve groundbreaking goals. Because of that, society then, or parts of the society, spurred the acceptance of female being as athletes, or at least in the domain of sports. These are the vocabulary words for your second unit. As you know, astronomer is a person who studies the physical universe. Professor Geoffrey Mercy associated his work with Deborah Fisher to come up with a fully fledged system to study the constellation Andromeda. Concerning your comprehension skills, you have paraphrasing and you have summarizing. Paraphrasing is when you read the text, try to understand it fully. You can jot down notes about it, and then you can also research about it so that you come up with facts and evidence that back up your own details. Usually, paraphrasing is the explanation of what you just read, and it's usually the same length as the original text. Whereas summarizing is somehow different. You read, you understand, you list down the most important ideas and the main idea, and then after that you just write it down as short as possible but as clearly and sufficient as it might be. As for your grammar lesson subject-verb agreement, you have to know that when you have a singular subject, the verb should also be in the singular form. And if you have a plural subject, the verb should be in the plural form. Hence the agreement: singular subject, singular verb, plural subject, plural verb. For example, we have trap, which is a singular subject. And in this way, catches takes the form of a singular verb, and it ends in es. Some other verbs might end with s. Traps is a plural subject, and in this way, catch takes the plural form and it does not end with es. So when we have s in trap, we do not have es in catch. Now you also have to know that I and you, although both of these are singular, but they always use the plural form. For example, you have I think. We never say I thinks. Regarding the indefinite pronouns such as anyone, everyone, someone, etc., they're always, you can see, they're always in the singular form. Hence, they require a singular verb. For example, everyone, which is a singular subject, it requires has, which is also a singular verb. We do not say everyone have, we say everyone has. Another pronoun, which is each. Let's look at this sentence. They're saying each of the dogs hunts. It's not correct because we're not talking about all the dogs at once. We're talking about each and every one. as you can see, each and every one of the dogs. So it's a singular form. So the right one to say, or the right way to say it is, each of the dogs hunts. Because we're not talking about all the dogs together, we're talking about one dog at a time. Some of the indefinite pronouns, such as all and some, they're sometimes singular and they're sometimes plural. It depends to what they're referring to. If we're referring to something which is countable or not. For example, some of the beads, which is countable, plural, are, which is also plural, missing. Some of the water, some of the water. As you can see, water is uncountable. So it takes the singular form, which is gone. Interrupting phrases such as along with, together with, etc. can be confusing, but all you have to remember is that they modify the earlier subject, that is the first subject. So if you have two subjects in a sentence, you only follow the first one. Let's look at this sentence. The president, which is a singular subject, as well as his brothers, which is a plural subject, is, which is a singular verb, going to prison. You see, how come it is going, not are going? As simple as that. We're not talking about the president and his brothers. We're not talking about his brothers. We're only talking about the president. So that's why. And president is singular. So to make it easier for you, you can just like turn the sentence around. We can say the president is going to prison as well as his brothers. Now it makes sense, right? Another way to make it plural is this. You can also add and in this way it's not interrupting anymore. It's just adding the two subjects together, and in this way it becomes a plural subject. And hence you'll have a plural verb. This is the president and his brothers are going to jail. Pronouns, just like subject-verb agreement, have to agree with the nouns that replace them in order to avoid any kind of repetition. They have to agree in numbers, such as singular or plural, in cases, such as subject and object, in genders, such as male and female. Let's look at the example that we have below. We have each finalist will have to pay their own airfare and other expenses. This one is wrong for one reason, because we're talking about one finalist, each and every one, which means that the there here has to be changed. The correct answer is each finalist will have to pay his own airfare. This one is correct. For this semester, you took negative essay. Negative essay and almost all kinds of essays, they start with a hook. Hook is what grabs the reader's attention. It is what makes the reader eager to read more, to know what's going to happen next. It is located in the introductory paragraph. The structure of a narrative essay usually starts with the first three elements, which are setting, character, and plot. Setting is time and place, characters are the people in the narration, and plot is usually the main idea of the story or the narration, and it usually includes the problem and the solution, and sometimes it might include a turning point. Some of you might confuse theme with the plot. Theme, it is the basic idea of the story, but it usually deals with a topic, and that topic is interconnected from the beginning of the essay till the end of the essay. As for the mood, is the feeling that the writer creates and conveys towards the reader through certain images that he draws through his words. And we have to also use transitional words because they help the story to be coherent, they help the story or the narration to be more effective for the reader to understand.